Hey guys, Mike here. So, oh boy, what a day, right? I mean, you would have thought seeing people online that the dang market was coming to an end or something. And you look at what it is right now, you're like, really? That's all we're down? All we did was just get back the gains from yesterday? Woo! Spooky. Come on, man. I mean, give me a break. I'm going to show you, again, market manipulation at its best, baby. Love this market. I love greed. I mean, I always bet on greed. You know, but we don't talk about, we got to talk about Tesla. I really talk about that stock, but I will talk about it now and show you kind of what's happening here, because I was having some thoughts which got confirmed in the afternoon of what's happening. And then a key level, this one guy said something today just made me laugh, so I'm going to show you that right there about, you know, if the S&P breaks this certain level, you know, you can forget about this and all this good stuff. And then, you know, something I'm going to start doing a lot more research into and try to become an expert on, because I like researching anyway, and figure out what I can find for us, because this has happened before. And could we see it again? Possibly. I mean, if our government has anything to do with it. And you can see, obviously, what happened. Boom, gap down. Oh, my God. World's come to an end. It fell through that gap. Once it filled it, I don't believe it. And so, of course, I come out, you know, I don't worry about it too much because I know what's going on, because, you know, I did this morning news brief for all the members. And I just told them, look, what happened? All you had was positive data for the economy come out, and the market gets pissed, right? I mean, you sit there and look at it. And what happened? Quarter 3 GDP was revised up 3.2% versus 2.9. All right. Consumption revised up at 2.3 from 1.7. Hey, we're still buying. Initial jobless claims came in lower than expected. Again, we're still working. We're still getting paychecks. So, you know, what I say to them, we're still employed, buying stuff like it's 1999, and the Fed must continue to tighten to slow U.S. growth down to fight inflation. Funny how this would be good news for the stock market in any other year. And on top of this, and I touched on this yesterday, right? Micron comes out, terrible earnings, terrible. So the stock market was flat when I did the video. It went down 2%. Look at this thing. This is obviously one of the largest U.S. manufacturer of memory chips there is, and they're warning us, saying it's not going to look good this year coming up. It is what it is, right? The company also revealed a series of cost-cutting measures. Once again, what I tell you, companies will be cutting to help offset an expected drop in revenue, including a 10% reduction in its workforce. I don't believe it. Look at that right there. And of course, shares finally dropped. It was down 5%, but it fought its way back today. Shocker there. And so, of course, you would think, hey, isn't this news this morning? Wouldn't it be good for earnings? Because we're still earning paychecks, we're still getting raises, we're still out spending, buying stuff. Wouldn't that be great for earnings? Guess not. I guess the Fed, you know, raising rates and tightening stuff is more important, which is true, by the way. But, you know, that's kind of where we're at, right? And so, good news for the economy, bad news for the market. Bad news for the economy, good news for the market, right? And so that's this you know, deal we're in right now, this period. And so, you know, the other thing I was talking about, and it was talking about Tesla. Like, Tesla is getting obliterated, right? Tesla is just, it's like this free fall. Everybody keeps thinking it's going to stop. I mean, I put stuff in the Discord, saying, hey, and on the page and say, hey, here's this support level. It's bounced off multiple times, blows right through it. Hey, here's this gap. Once it fills, you know, a lot of times they bounce right off that. Nope, blows right through it, right? And so this morning, before the market even opens, I'm like, this just comes across the board. And I'd asked somebody about this, and one of our members said they just bought a Tesla, about these discounts, right? And they were giving a $3,750 discount if you took possession of the car before the end of December. Well, now all of a sudden, there was a report coming out saying they're going to double that, $7,500, and you get 10,000 free supercharger miles on top of it. Plus, you also get the $7,500, I think it was a tax credit, which came from one of the bills passed in Congress. So that's a pretty good deal, right? And of course, as my uncle who owns a car dealership will tell you, you don't give away something for free if you don't have to, right? So if business is good, you're not going to be getting those discounts. So, and I asked the person, I'm like, and I'm asking you guys this because I'm not some Tesla fanatic. He's like, hey, those who study the stock, the company, and the cars, who own the cars, is this normal? Have they done this in December before, or is this new, right? And so, because if it's new, that's a way for you to say, because I said to members, what they're doing is they're really trying to get those Q4 numbers up. There's no way they're going to come out last week with 3750 and all of a sudden double it. And they say, here's a bunch of free supercharger miles too, like just trying to get you to take possession now, because they know if the fourth quarter numbers come out bad, as much pressure, selling pressures on this stock, oh, it's going to get much worse for them. So they're trying to pump those fourth quarter numbers up big time, right? But this is what people were talking about when they were worried about, you know, the inventory and stuff of Tesla, and eventually demand will wane because of all the competition now, right? It's a lot of competition out there, a lot, okay? And of course, their cars aren't cheap, right? I mean, they aren't cheap cars or anything, good cars. But you know, that's what I'm just asking. So if you know if they've done these discounts before, let us know. I've never found anything where they've done it. The member told us that not that they know of, but you know, again, you got people who are really big in the Tesla who have been buying them for years that would know better than me. So let us know, because if it is new, yes, it's concerning. That's what it is. You don't give away something for free if you don't have to, right? And then the other thing, and I'm telling you, man, I've said this in the past and been proven right on this one. I said, even before the market opened again, I put this in here. To make matters worse, ARK is loading up on Tesla, and when ARK loads up on stuff, I have no doubt there's algorithms out there programmed to short the living daylights out of those stocks. And you can see right here, I mean, that's her loading up right there. And what's another one she's been loading up on? Coin. What's another one setting new 52-week lows on top of Tesla? Coin. And you can see, man, I mean, this stock's been getting hammered. It filled that gap all right, and it tried to hold. It wanted to bounce. You can see it. It wanted to bounce right there. That's the hourly. And then, nope, see you later. Gap down, bye-bye. And look at how oversold it is on the hourly. And then if we switch over to the daily, I mean, look at this thing. The selling pressure is just huge. And so then I'm sitting there thinking, are people getting margin called? Because normally it was down 10%. Like normally when you see a big mega cap stock go down double digits in one day, you start to say, man, and these candles are red. I mean, you see the volume bars on that thing, the selling bars, oh my God. So I thought people must be getting margin called. And this came out around noon. TD Ameritrade said they're turning off their margin for Tesla buying power around 2 o'clock today. And if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate it. And if you're getting anything out of this, please hit the like and think about sharing the video, guys. And so I guess, you know, that's what's been happening. That's why you see it dropping so fast. That or Elon selling some more, I guess. I don't know what's going on, but it's got a lot of selling pressure on it. And again, I'm not even worried about that. This is what I'm waiting to happen to Apple, right? If this was happening to Apple, we would be hugely down on the S&P right now. But because Tesla's already down over, was it 55% before this week came up and all this selling took place, they're dropping the bucket. It just don't have a huge weight compared to Apple. And Apple, I think, is 5.5 times weighted heavier than Tesla. And so, again, Microsoft as well. And what do you see Microsoft and them doing? I'm going to talk about Apple's chart in a minute. But it's like, they're barely down. They're barely down, right? Those two big behemoths, no big deal, right? Still holding on to that 130 level on Apple, and Microsoft's holding on to this level. But I did see, you know, everybody kept talking about, you know, coal in our stockings for this Christmas rally and stuff like that. And I heard this guy say this, and it just made me laugh, honestly.
The 1-2 combination this morning has it down, testing a very important 3,800 level in the S&P. We may have to put Santa Claus's face on a milk carton if that happens.
So, yeah, I mean, he's right? I mean, we might have to do it. But don't worry. Yes, we broke through 3,800 on the S&P. But don't you fret, because what did the big money do? They said, oh, don't worry. Here we go, baby. Let's run this puppy back up. Ran it up 1.5% in 2 hours, right? Everybody thought the world was coming to an end. But don't you worry about that. Money came in there and bought that puppy right on up. And we ended up at 38.22 for the day as it ended, because that's just how the market runs, because it knew that 3,800 level. Can't let it stand there until going into tomorrow, right? We got to see what's going to happen. And then, of course, Apple. This is what I was talking about. I mean, look at this chart right here. First of all, Apple ain't even oversold. Even after all this mess and the drama and all this stuff with Apple. Look at this trend line. I showed it to you before, right? I said how important it was. All right, going back here to August 20, bounced multiple times right there. And you can see this is a perfect example of right here. Break support, major support right there. Come back at retest, get rejected. And that's why there is a chance, if we don't get this Santa Claus rally, that you could see some significant lower lows on Apple, of course. And again, it's not oversold on the RSI, so it still has room to run. And so, you know, it's important to know it does have room to run, but that don't mean Apple themselves aren't going to come in here and just all of a sudden start buying the stock back up, right? People think there's these blackout periods, you can't get around it, but as I show the members, there's always loopholes to buying back stock from executives and from the company during blackout periods. And there's not actually, I couldn't find an official like federal law saying you have to have the blackout period. They're just trying to avoid insider trading, but there are ways you can schedule it to make it seem like you know, it was okay to do it. And so you don't know, room to run, but also can get saved. It's Apple, you know, who knows, and Microsoft as well. But, you know, the one thing keep important, and I did this video right here at the beginning of December, I think it was. And you can see what it's titled right there. It's all about the Christmas rally and everything. And you got to keep this in mind. I went back in the research for the members and did from the 24th to January 2nd. So basically like 7 trading days, I think total is what that is. And I only did bear markets. And I did every single one of them going back to 1969 on up. And you know what shockingly it showed me? If it ain't flat, it's green 9 out of 10 of the last bear markets for the Christmas rallies. I mean, it's right at the last minute. And that's why that older gentleman you heard talking about, if that S&P level breaks, you might have to put Santa on a milk carton, because he knows those stats too, right? And he also knows how greedy Wall Street can be when they want to be. And so think about it. If you're going, and usually the Santa rally, that's what it is. It's like from the day before Christmas on, even though that falls on a weekend this time. So I don't know if it does start, it's going to start Friday, Monday, if we're going to have one. But 90% of the last bear markets, we had Christmas rallies were positive. Maybe 1%, but it was up, maybe 7%, right? And so we'll see. But again, it won't surprise me a bit. And that's why I'm not surprised by the selling or any of that mess they're doing right now. But the one study I'm going to tell you about, and I'll end with this, was this is what I'm going to start really looking at. And I'll try to come up with a video for us. But it's these waves of inflation. Inflation came in 3 waves in the 70s, right? And you see where we're at, and which doesn't look good, okay? But it seems like it's going to come down. But then, of course, they had 2 more waves. So I'm going to have to research why they had these 2 other waves. And I'll try to see if there's a research paper out there, actually. Because it won't surprise me if this is something that happens to us. And I really say that more for our government, who likes to spend, like it's going out of style because it's not their money, right? And it's just a credit card. He's might run up credit cards, right? They're just running up the debt like crazy. Just got a big spending bill that's going to the house now. And they put out a bunch of contracts. They sent out to FedEx, UPS, all the defense contractors getting mega deals right now. They're really pumping it out at the end of the year. Got to use it up. God forbid we have a balanced budget. They're like, spend it. I remember I was in the military. This is when we were running ops, right? And I said, why are we doing this training ops? Got to use it up or they'll take it away from us next year. That's how it works, by the way. God forbid you get rewarded for saving money. Not happening, right? And so that's another reason you see this year-end splurge from the government right now. And we'll see what they do, coming up next year, how much they're going to be spending. But, it could be that. Who knows? People just, I have to go back and look. Because if I remember correctly, there was no pause. Matter of fact, I know for a fact, there was no pauses in the rates in the 70s, because I did another video for the members on this. But it was just very weird how the rates were. They go up 1 month, down next. They do this right here. It was real jagged. It was crazy looking. Until Volcker came in and went, nope, see you later, and pumped it like 20%. But, so I'm not looking at that, because people were saying that could possibly happen. And think about it. Next year, people are projecting oil to go over 100 again, other commodities to go up again. My brother-in-law, and this is going to be interesting, who is in the pharma business, he said, hey, remember what we were talking about when we were talking about food shortages and all this other stuff and prices going through the roof? He said that's definitely a big possibility next year, right? Because a lot of farmers didn't plant as much because the input costs were so big, it didn't make any sense. They'd be losing money, right? And so he's definitely talking about cotton and other things too. So that's going to be something I'm going to do research into, see what I can find. I may find nothing, right? That's how it works when you do this. But again, I'm a one-man army. I'll do what I can. If you happen to know of any research, feel free to send me an email on it. Put it in the comments. They'll let you. And I'll look at that too. So anyway, tomorrow will be interesting. It's Friday. I'll maybe put a video out. I'm not even sure I'm putting a video out tomorrow because I'm on the road. It's Christmas time. I'm heading to Georgia to do Christmas with my wife's family. So if I don't see you, because I'm definitely not doing one on 24th or 25th, it's Christmas. Merry Christmas. Hope you have a safe holiday. Happy holidays, whatever religion you are. I just hope everything is safe, happy, and you get everything you wish for, okay? And so if I don't see you tomorrow, I'll probably see you Monday. Have a good one, guys.